Hi, man. It's Tuesday, the 5th of May when I'm recording this. I think you're getting it on Wednesday, the 6th. It's been a tough week. It's been a don't sweat the small stuff, if you've heard of that really interesting book type of week. And I'll start off with some of the small stuff. You would probably say that your GCSE grades aren't small stuff at all, they're pretty important, and I totally agree with that. I understand that. The amount of work that has gone in to the calculation, estimation, prediction, assessment of those, it's all really complicated. And staff have produced their initial data based on an enormous amount of data that we had to manipulate. And I'd have to say that the senior leaders, particularly Mr. McIver and Mr. Oswald, are working really hard on that. And that's so that we can optimize the best possible outcome for you. And I totally agree that that's really important, but it has completely overwhelmed everything else. Like I haven't even really been able to think about anything else work-wise. Sorry, camera shutter there. Other small stuff, we're having domestic problems. Two main domestic problems, not related: fence and mice. My wife wants me to replace a significant section of our fencing, and we're currently having a bit of a row about it. We priced it last year. It was meant to be 800 quid, which is, substantial. And it's something that doesn't really improve anything. I mean, there's a fence there that needs replaced, and then there'll be a nicer, newer fence, but you kind of won't sort of be able to think, oh, wow, look, I've got a lovely new fence. So when I went to price it all with the same guy, it was 1,200 quid. And I just think that's a really ugly aspect of lockdown, of pandemic, of COVID-19, that suppliers and retailers are able to inflate prices of things by 50%. My wife wants us to go ahead and replace the fence because my three boys are at home and they're like a ready-made work crew, and she wants it done, 2 weeks ago. And I'm currently trying to persuade her that the boys will still be in lockdown with us in a month's time, and by then more of the suppliers might have opened up and the prices might have come back down to a sensible amount. Okay, dopey thing, right? Here's a dopier thing. I'll show you a video. This video, unbelievable. We've spent 2 days clearing stuff out, laying mice poison and putting down mouse traps as a result of what sounds like a lot of nesting type activity going on under the floorboards and in a built-in wardrobe in one of the boys' bedrooms. So imagine my amazement, having spent a lot of time trying to deal with this problem, to then be confronted with this little video. I'm going to just hold it up to the camera to show you it, okay? You see that little monster? We'll try and play him again. Yeah, really. Midday today in our kitchen, the audacity of it. Can you believe that? So I'm going home now, just after 2 o'clock. It's almost 2 o'clock. With the prospect of more of that fun, clearing out, looking for evidence, droppings, looking for access points, blocking them up, putting down poison, buying more traps. I mean, honestly, and all this nice weather, you'd think the wee monsters would be outside instead of annoying my happiness. But that's the way it is. But those are the small stuff, because on that sliding scale of like really important things like your future GCSE grades and difficult things like domestic, improvements and wee small things like annoying wee mice. And Dr. Breen says it definitely is a mouse, thank goodness, it looked big to me. In the midst of all that, we had some really bad news at Campbell at the weekend. And I would say to you that my line managers have said it's at our discretion at heads of year how we discuss and share that news. But I'm just going to be honest and upfront with you. I think it's really important to be candid. A young man called McCracken passed away in very sudden and tragic circumstances. Lewis was in lower sixth. He had come to us from Friends School at the end of fifth form, and he didn't get a lot of time in Campbell College, and the circumstances of his death are really, really tragic. And obviously we need to be careful how we share that information, but I suspect that most of you probably already knew. What I want to say is that I feel so sad for Lewis. I feel so sad for Lewis's family, extended family and friends. Uh, the circumstances in which he lost his life will cause a permanent hurt for many of them for all of their lives. And we'll never really know what led Lewis to that state of mind. It's really difficult to take anything positive out of something so tragic, but I do think it's really important to say that your mental health is the vital thing that you need to attend to. During this period, your mental health is the most important thing of all, and your education's important, and your domestic situation and improvements are important, and even wee mice keeping you awake at night by trying to build wee nests. Those things are important, but they're not even, they're so minusculely unimportant compared to a young man who has lost his life. And a couple of colleagues told me that they did get to know Lewis, and he was a really charming and nice young man. One colleague had a pretty fun relationship with him, even though it was based on constantly trying to stop him from wearing his hoodie in school. And another colleague told me that they regularly talked to him in the sixth form centre, and how charming he was. And that's just a really tough, there's nothing I can finish on that is an easy way of dealing with such a young person losing their life. And I'm not going to try to glibly do so, but I would say again, I'm really sorry for everyone in Lewis McCracken's extended family and friendship circle, and I deeply regret how he lost his life, and I want you to make sure that you look after your mental health and your happiness, because that's the most important thing of all. And if you think you need to, the most important thing to do is to talk to someone. Communication is the key. Just talk to somebody. Doesn't matter who it is, just talk to somebody. Keep talking, and keep mentally healthy. And I'm sorry that it's quite a difficult subject to address, and next week we'll maybe try and do something that's more akin to my wee mouse video. Have a good week, man. Bye.